Hey everyone, welcome back to another coffee time with crypto.
Hi,
And
everybody.
today we're gonna go back to the fun stuff.
Back to the DGen plays.
Yeah, okay. So we have an interesting project today. It was recommended by one of our subscribers. It's called
Yeah.
so we decided let's look into it. The project's called YieldNodes. I have not looked into it at all, but DJ Ben, I think you've been taking a
It
look.
has always been in my line of sight.
Cool,
Um,
cool.
and I think a few of the influencers on YouTube, the really like famous ones, also covered it. It's a bit different. I wouldn't say it's DeFi. I really don't think it is. It's more like of a traditional investment product, I would say, because there's no tokenomics or anything. There's no token.
There's no token.
There's
Okay.
no token. There's no token.
You kept on saying that, but I was like, okay, I really wanna uh I really want to give you guys my genuine first impressions of this thing. So I didn't take a look at all. Um,
Oh, really? Let's look at it right
all right,
now.
let's jump in. Okay, so you're gonna let me switch it over. There you go. So
Yep. So just search for yield nodes,
yield nodes. What's the website? Yield nodes?
yieldnodes.com.
Oh, yieldnodes.com.
Yeah. Like a disclaimer, it looks a little sketchy at first when you look at the site. And that's
That's
the
it.
reason why I didn't put any money in it yet.
That's their disclaimer. Our disclaimer is again, this is
Yep.
not financial advice. Do your own research. We're just
Yep,
here to
definitely.
we're just here to keep it real and give you guys some entertainment.
Like like
Hopefully
seriously,
teach.
degen plays shouldn't really be financial advice if you think about it, right? All
Definitely
right, let's
not.
take a look. So first thing you notice, and one of the influencers also mentioned, is that if look at that background banner, that light bulb looks squashed. Like they didn't even take in the time to even make it look right. So,
It's I'm glad to get some insights from the degen strategies here.
oh yeah, like seriously, when you know something's degen, if they don't even take the effort to make the site look right, then it's worse than degen. But hey, this one I actually kind of like the project. So let's keep on looking at it.
So
So
if you ask me, first impressions is it looks decent. It looks like I wouldn't say it strikes me immediately as a degen thing compared
uh
to like what I'm thinking in my mind of
oh
like the projects from Phantom.
oh from Phantom, yeah, this is totally like okay looking if you compare it to Phantom. But I think the first thing we should start is if you go to about
Okay, so here,
and then just go to program in a nutshell.
so they don't tell you like on their homepage because like
Oh,
one of
actually, you
the
know what?
things.
This page is a continuous page. So you're when you click on something,
Oh,
it's just scrolling down
okay,
anyways.
so let's do that. Okay, so we're doing program in a nutshell. This one, right?
Yeah. And it's just gonna bring you down to pretty much the
Okay.
start or whatever. So I think starting here is fine. So this project, it tells you right away that the minimum investment around is 500 euros. So it's a pretty, I mean, it's pretty low entry point to
You
anything.
degens are rich.
Not really. Like,
500
I'm the
euros
fish here,
is
man. If you look at some of the degens out there, it's pretty crazy.
so what's 500 euros in US dollar? It's about
it's
this. Is it
it's about the
similar?
same.
It's about the
It's
same,
just
right?
a little bit more. 500, so it's around 550.65
Okay,
US dollars as per Google. The max is
cool.
250,000. It pays out monthly. Of course, there's an option for you to compound, which it just puts back into your deposit. So the different thing about this project is, I guess, when you usually the node projects, you pay for it and the money's gone, right? But this one, you put your money in, the deposit, it's locked up for 6 months. You
Okay,
get paid the your earnings monthly, but your deposit has to be locked up for 6 months before you can take it out. If you take it out anytime before the 6 months, there's this emergency button or something. They'll take 25% off and give it back
Right.
to you.
Okay.
Right. So uh, the interests are paid in euro, US dollar, and Bitcoin. They
Okay.
accept like Visa payments, bank wires, and anything.
So what makes this project degen?
Okay, so what makes this project degen is it's giving you a payout every month of around 5 to 15%. It does something called masternoding. So it's not just
Okay.
normal nodes, it's called masternoding. And what they claim masternoding is that uh, when you go into a blockchain and if you deposit enough, I think you buy enough of their tokens or deposit enough, then you get to you get to create a masternode, which yields better rewards than just normal like mining or anything like that. And they'll explain a bit later down, saying that they don't believe in mining anymore because it's become less and less profitable, and it uses more and more energy. But then, because they're basing this on proof of stake masternoding, I don't know what that would mean to you, but they're
So I
saying
have a
that miners
question.
usually go based on proof of work, the hash power, and everything. So it uses a lot of resources. It's less profitable now. Um, And a lot of what they invest in, what I found out later on was that these projects, we probably never heard of them, but they actually bought out the project and then masternode them.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
Is
go ahead.
is this a real node project, or is this one of
It
those
looks, it's actually
passive income
well,
projects?
according to what they say, it's definitely a real node. So they even tell you the money you pay them, they go out and actually rent out equipment and set up like the machine or whatever that's for you
Right.
to act as a master node for you.
So,
Um,
for those who don't know what a node project is, you can go back and check out our other video on Strong
yeah,
Block. We also did a video on the Tavern project, which is a passive income
non-node
project.
node project. So this is the background information. I think the next thing usually people want to know is conveniently just scroll down a bit more. Like, what is the payout? So it first tells you what's the minimum you need to invest, what's the maximum. It pays out monthly, but what is the payout? So
Uh, Okay, so
it
this
says
is the
profit
profit
here.
area,
So
profit section.
they they usually give you 5 to 15% pure profit. So it sounds pretty good, right? Like 5 to 15%, whereas your normal savings account is like 1% or whatever. But they do guarantee it. I don't know if I don't think it's ever kicked in. I don't know any influencer that said this kicked in before. Is that if your monthly return for 3 consecutive months is below 5%, they'll actually pay you the difference and give you 5%.
So why do you say this is not a DeFi project?
Okay, so because there's no tokenomics, there's no token. You're just giving this company an investment.
Is it a company?
It's a company. It is a company. So it's set up, it's registered in Hong Kong. The offices are in Malta, so one of the tax haven countries in Europe. And right now, it's trying to strive to get regulation from Switzerland.
That sounds awfully complicated.
I only found out about this because I actually reached out to them like 2 months ago.
So the whole idea of DeFi would be at some point there's a degree of decentralization,
Yeah.
permissionless, trustless
Mhm.
kind of aspects to it.
Yeah. So it's more of like, I would say it's kind of like a fund.
It sounds like some kind of a security issue here, but I suppose they're based in Hong Kong, but are they available in the U.S.? Like, as a U.S.
I think you can. I
person,
think you can. I think you
can you
can.
purchase it?
I'm pretty sure you can because most of the influencers on YouTube that are in it, they are in US. I'm pretty sure that.
Okay. So it sounds to me that this this would be purchasing some kind of security. At least there's sounds like there's a risk of having some regulatory risk. I suppose they are a
Probably.
small project. They probably are flying under the radar.
They
But
probably are. And I when I was researching this, as a DGen, some of the influencers, they actually reached out to the company and everything. It's like, hey, why are you guys not really spending any money marketing? Why aren't you guys trying to grow the business? And apparently they want to stay small. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but they want to stay small.
yeah. So I mean, this is going to be a risk that
Mm,
uh, anyone who wants to get involved in projects like these,
hmm.
the risk is that if they do, if the team gets into regulatory trouble,
Yeah,
uh, then potentially, who's going to run the project,
yeah.
and on the flip side, at least in the U.S., it seems like in the crypto space, we're having regulation by litigation, and it's gonna take a while before
Yeah,
these anyone gives any attention to these smaller projects. But it's
yeah,
still a risk that uh, you guys should be aware of.
yeah,
And at the end of the
yeah.
day, like the securities law in each country, they're there to protect investors. So the fact that DeFi and DeFi related projects are so new, they, a lot of these projects, they like to um, move first and then ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission.
Okay, so I don't know if this makes it less degen or scammy. So when I was watching when people had to sign up and register and to become their client, they have a full-on bank-like KYC procedure,
Hmm. Okay.
right? So if anything, like if you're a US person and you go on this project, there's no way you can avoid the tax.
There's a difference between a tax issue and
Hmm.
a securities issue. But we'll
Oh
we'll,
yeah,
we'll
yeah,
leave that we'll leave that aside for the
yeah.
moment. So keep on
Okay,
explain
so if you
taking us through
scroll down
this.
a bit, those give you a graph showing how it works from 2019 till now, what the returns are. Of course, it looks amazing.
So you're basically getting, and is this compounded? So basically, you'll feel better because in 3 months you'll get 15% back, something like that, or maybe even
Yeah,
more. And you would have to believe that the project can continue for
yeah,
9 months before you get your initial investment back, right? But then in 6 months you can take out your initial investment.
yeah,
So I guess if you got 30% of your investment back in 3 months, you have 70% in, but
yeah,
now that 15 to 30% on that 70%, let's say, okay, is a little bit higher. So you're
yeah.
actually getting maybe 20 to 40%. And then if you just hope that they're around for 3 more months, you feel like you can get your money back.
And then if you go down a bit more, then it starts explaining what master noding is, right? So
So, okay,
so the
masternoding.
wording's kind of weird. So yeah, go ahead.
In addition to the
Um,
advantages of the blockchain as a technology, it is possible to achieve interesting yields by providing computing power and storage space in combination with special software. That that just
sounds as ambiguous as it can be, but there's actually more about it at the bottom. It does claim, hey, we're definitely not mining, and it explains why they don't think it's a good idea. So it basically says that it's providing technology that it relies on proof of stake.
okay. So we
So that
understand what that means.
yeah,
Does it tell you which blockchains?
it tells you later on, but I'm pretty sure you've never heard of these. Well, actually, at least I haven't. Maybe some are blue chips that I have no idea about. So it does say that, hey, you know what? The loss of capital is not very likely on the risk and contingencies because they're not trading; they're just running a node.
Okay. So
That's the team.
Should
Yeah,
I
keep
keep
scrolling. So
scrolling
this is
down?
the team. They have linked to their LinkedIn. Like, sure, I mean, in the end, everything could be fake, right? So yes, you can at least there's someone's face on it. There's some testimonials, but okay, if you keep scrolling down, it'll tell you about the network, which it tells you the yield nodes network currently consists of, and these are the projects that are under them. So these are the blockchains that are they are in. I've never heard of a single one of these. um,
So I suppose the advantage of not being a protocol is that they are less likely to be hacked, right? Like you have
oh yeah, yeah, like
you already understand that most of the degen projects, even when they are um, as running as a protocol, that most of them at the beginning are highly centralized.
yeah,
So then I guess they take it to the next level, basically getting rid of all of that and say, hey, we're just gonna run this on Web 2.
yeah, basically. So if you're in DeFi for the technology and everything, I
Mm.
don't think this is a project.
So what are we looking at here? This is
So these are all their projects that they're in, like all the I think the blockchains that are in that they set up masternodes on,
okay. I've never heard of
right? You've never heard of any
these.
single one. Same with everybody I know that looked through this. No one knows. But if you look at their partners, which is on the bottom, then you have CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone's actually validated if they're actually partnering
No.
with any of these,
I
right?
think like a lot of these projects, if they're listed on CoinMarketCap, they'll just state that they're a partner. If anything, like it makes me skeptical that
But the thing
um,
is, they don't have a token or anything. So I'm like, so why?
that's a good point. I mean,
Right? Like, what's the point of being on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap? You don't have a coin.
so I okay, that's interesting.
So then there's an FAQ at the bottom. Um, let's see. Like, it furthers on what master noding is, furthers on like what are the fees and everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like how to withdraw your funds.
Mhm.
Contact us. That's what I use to get in touch with them to just ask them a few questions.
So I guess for me, I would start here, right? I would take a look at what these master notable currencies are.
Yeah,
So like I guess we can click into it
yeah. Just
and
click.
take a
Oh,
look.
let's click into one. One says under construction.
So these are not even real.
Some of
Um,
them don't even seem to have launched. There's some that actually are. If you click on the, I think the Vault Watch, which is the one below that, there's something here. But if you ask me, I have no idea what these are. Like, and I haven't even looked into these yet. And I think this is the part where I think, yeah, this is probably quite degen.
I'm just gonna come back
It's really
here.
vague.
I'm just gonna read this a little bit more
Yeah,
carefully.
go ahead,
Because
go
it
ahead.
says a master node, like any other full node, is a node server within a network. And full nodes are important because they process transactions and store them on blockchain. Okay, we know that. After master node operator has rights beyond those of a normal full node and is required to manage more critical tasks. In order to obtain the status of a master node, the master node operator must deposit a specified number of the relevant coin. So they're basically saying they need to stake it. So that's why, like, when I first read master nodes, it seemed like it made sense to me. But if they're
Hmm.
saying that, um, if they're saying that each one of these are master notable cryptocurrencies, it sounds to me like they would be staking these crypto into their respective blockchain networks. So, like we know this one was under construction. This one, it says it's a crypto directory, but to me, like this doesn't look like a legit website. Here, they don't even give you an about section.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to know what these things are. A lot of these projects that are listed here,
Hmm.
they look like they are the same ones that are like here, right?
Within
Like,
these projects, they're all referencing
yeah,
themselves.
they're
They
all
seem like
referencing
part of
themselves.
all this, part of one big project, if anything.
What made you interested in this project, outside of one of our subscribers mentioning it?
I
Uh,
think same with the subscriber, like because we share something in common, probably that we look at a lot of these like crypto YouTube videos,
mhm,
and some of the bigger names of them, they've openly said, "Hey, I've invested this amount here. They did actually pay me this amount, that amount, and if everything is true, um, it's actually pretty good passive
yeah.
income,
So I guess this
right?
is a pure yield play, but the
Yeah.
the problem is what's the risk, right? Like
Hmm. You're basing a trust on something that's kind of sketchy.
yeah, I feel like it's as much of a potential rug pull situation as any other project that would
Hmm.
be on the blockchain.
Yeah.
I would want to see kind of like the way that they're structured. I just think that it's so complicated that I would have no confidence in
At all,
at,
right?
at all in putting my money here. They don't really tell you anything about how they're actually generating this revenue,
They don't. They don't. They really don't. Like,
right?
if you look at the, oh, there you go. You're looking at the statistics. They're like, oh, February 8.3 and whatever. And if you go back to some of the influencers that actually put in
Mhm.
some of their money in, they're like, oh, I confirmed that's exactly what I got. And I'm like, oh, okay. It kind of looks true.
Yeah, so I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in what I'm seeing
Yeah.
just because there's there's nothing to analyze,
Yeah. There's
right?
no like white paper or anything like that.
Have we given them like a fair
You mean
assessment?
looking through the site?
Yeah, like do they have any
Um,
of that information?
I
Let's see.
don't think they have. Well,
See,
except for the
I'll,
frequently asked question part.
I feel like to me there's a lot of red flags because it all just focuses on the yield, how much money you can
Hmm.
make, and how you can give them money, right?
Yeah,
This is that seems like the focus.
and
So
I think that's kind
I
of
would
like
be I would be
for
careful with this
like
one.
for me. I still haven't gone in because usually whatever project I go into the Discord group.
Hmm.
How biased it is, it's okay. At least I know some of the people are talking about. They're raising questions, and maybe I'll watch some videos on YouTube to see what's going on. But this project, like, there's nothing proven or telling me that they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah. So I
You know
think
what I
we've
mean?
I think we've already given this project too much time than what it would be than what it deserves.
Hmm.
To me, like I can tell you, like when I first look at a website, I need for it to uh, concisely explain to me what the project is, how it is different to other projects,
Yep.
and what is their main selling point, what makes them unique. I hate to use the word scam, but like it really does like seems like it has a lot of the hallmarks of a potential scam that I would
Yeah.
be very very skeptical of.
I was looking for videos. I was looking for pictures. Like, what on earth does a Masternode look like in real life? You're renting equipment, right? What is it
Yeah.
actually like? At least let me know what that machine looks like. But I mean, if anybody's watching this video and would like to provide us with more information, I really want to know. So please leave a comment on what you have.
We'll have to see if we can find out more about some of these master notable currencies. Like even when I was clicking into it, I was worried like, okay, what are
You
these
would get a
links that
virus or
yeah,
something,
what
right?
are these links that I'm
Exactly what
clicking
I was thinking.
into?
Yeah, like it doesn't. scream out a lot. Like it doesn't give a
Yeah,
lot of confidence. And that's the only reason why I haven't started.
I think
Yeah.
twice about this one, maybe three times.
Like in the back of my mind, I don't know what it is, but it seems more risky than whatever I did with Seifu. So I don't know what's going on.
I'll tell you what would have convinced me, right? Like if they could point to the blockchains that they were providing nodes to,
Hmm.
and those blockchains were legit projects, and they could show
Some
the
kind of verification
return.
that they're
So
doing
so
too.
they can show me the yield that
Hmm.
being a masternode of these proof of stake networks, uh, the yield that you can make, and if it explains the yield that they were receiving, because the thing is, most of the popular proof of stake networks, their returns are nowhere near 5 to 15%
Right?
a month, right? We're talking about in the range of 5 to 10% a year, okay,
Okay.
on like a legit layer one. So if it was maybe 2 or 3% per month compounded, I think like
Is more believable, right?
honestly, like for a legit project that can promise that as a passive income, that's attractive enough. Like you don't have to promise me 5 to 15% a month. Once you go to 5 to 15% a month, I start questioning whether you're a scam, right?
It's like too good to be true.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Um,
Yeah.
let alone it doesn't tell you anything. Like, uh,
Yeah. And because it's not even like, honestly, it's not a DeFi project. So like it's really hard. Like you can actually ask them, contact them and ask them questions. They'll reply you, but there's no like I don't see a real community that can actually sort of at least ask questions or whatever. So yeah, we got too pampered by like the Discord communities. And that's it.
all right, so I think we're just gonna call it. Um,
Yeah, that's it for yield notes. It might come to a disappointment to some of the degens uh, that that are waiting for this from us because there's really not much. All right,
all right, see you later, guys.
later, buddies.
So shortly after doing the video with DJ Ben, I decided to do a little bit more digging on my own, mainly because I didn't want to miss anything that was easy to find, and I didn't want to just base our assessment on what we could find through their website alone. So what I did find didn't really change my conclusions, but I did find an interview with the CEO of YieldNodes that I thought was quite interesting. So I wanted to share that, and I'll put the link in the description. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what he shared in that interview. So he said that mining cryptocurrencies these days will generate a maximum of 2 to 3% per month, and that doesn't that's no longer an attractive yield for them, and it's obviously much lower than the 5% yield per month that YieldNodes aims to generate at a minimum for their investors. He mentions that YieldNodes is still an experiment and that there are tons of risks involved, that investors should not put any money that they're not willing or cannot afford to lose. So I thought that he explained his business case better. Mainly, he mentioned that they are in the business of acquiring crypto projects and even starting their own, and that gives them an advantage when it comes to masternoding. He explains that masternoding is different from mining or validating full nodes, and that you actually need an initial investment of cryptocurrencies. And he outlines that the main risks when it comes to masternoding is that these cryptocurrencies can often fall quickly in their value. So his business case is to identify opportunities where uh, they can generate a yield that can offset those declines. So I thought that he was quite honest with the way that they could potentially make money with this kind of a business model. And there is a legitimate use case when it comes to the masternoding concept. My problem still comes down to the fact that very little of this is verifiable. He mentions in his interview that the way investors can perhaps trust them is that they put themselves out there. You can find them on LinkedIn. They've reached out to YouTube influencers where they've invited them to actually take a look at their books after signing an NDA. And he says that generally anyone can do that if they're willing to sign an NDA. So I think that is a good thing. And he also mentions one of their projects, Sapphire, and has a Sapphire token, and that you can check out the price history, and it seems to have done well. I did this, and I checked out the Sapphire token that's listed on one of their affiliated exchanges. It does seem to be actively traded, and generally it seems to have liquidity, and so it seems like what was said is mostly true. However, I checked out more of their other projects, and it seems that most of them do not really have a legitimate long term use case. So I question the sustainability of those projects, their cryptocurrencies, and therefore the sustainability of YieldNodes as well. That's pretty much all I wanted to add. Um, just remember to always do your own research and that this is not financial advice. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.